Now, there is a bill making its way through the Florida Senate that could ban citizens boards that review the actions of law enforcement.
Yeah, there are several cities in the state that have citizen oversight panels, including right here in Orlando. West 2's Paola Tristan Arruda breaks down this bill for us and has reaction from local leaders.
We have these civilian review boards.
A proposal that would get rid of citizen-run boards that investigate law enforcement is one step closer to becoming law. On Tuesday, Senate Bill 576 cleared its first hearing in the Senate Criminal Justice Committee. The bill sponsor, State Senator Blaise Ngoglia, says the legislation would create uniformity across the state when it comes to processing complaints against law enforcement by not allowing these panels to exist.
Officers have a very tough job. When they leave in the morning, they don't know if they're going to return at night. It does not make sense to me that we have people second-guessing those decisions, especially if they are already being investigated by internal affairs or by the state's attorney's office.
If passed, current civilian oversight boards would have to stop meeting after July 1st. That would affect Orlando's board, which was created in 1992.
But when I came onto the board, my understanding was that it was supposed to be about transparency.
As a former chair of the Orlando Oversight Board, Kyla Coleman says she's against the bill.
The board that I was on does not have subpoena power. We could not punish officers or anything of that nature. So it was almost as if we were just looking over what had already been done and making sure that they lined up with the policies and procedures. So if you're trying to take that away, what's the reason for it? I feel like it will cause even more of a rift between the police department and citizens.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the city of Orlando said, quote, "As a city, we believe that local governments know best how to meet the needs of our communities, residents, and businesses. Because of this belief, we are generally opposed to bills that seek to preempt local government in these efforts." In Orlando, Paola Tristan Arruda, West 2 News.
Now, we also did reach out to the Orlando Police Department for comment. A spokesperson there told us since the chief is an appointed official, they do not comment on pending legislation.